So today I am joined by Swedish pop legend Jenny Berggren, who rose to fame as part of Ace of Base before launching an impressive solo career. Jenny has recently taken part in a documentary spanning the highs and lows of Ace of Base called All That She Wants. I am so delighted that Jenny is here to talk to me today about her career and all the amazing things that she has done. So thank you so much, Jenny, for joining me.
Thank you.
Um,
Pleasure.
I need to start with a massive congratulations because the documentary, as a fan, is so enjoyable. It really feels like a comprehensive account of your story, a little bit of the music, the behind the scenes. I feel it really kind of chronicles the band's legacy quite well.
Thank you. Thank
So,
you.
so had offers come in before All That She Wants, or was this the kind of the first documentary offer that had got to you?
Well, we had documentaries all over the place. We had done some documentaries, and here is, I mean, you usually want to control everything, but you cannot. So the last last years, we haven't really even discussed it. But we get some questions, and this time Ulf handed the tapes that we made behind the scenes. Um, he gave them away to a guy. He didn't really ask the rest of us. He just wanted it to happen, I think. It's like, okay, let's make this happen. And that was more the fact I was put in front of one and a half ready because it's 3 episodes. So
Yeah.
I saw one and a half was already almost finished. So it's like, okay, do you want to join in? And it was like, no, maybe not. I was like, I have so much to do. I'm out touring with Ace of Base, Jenny from Ace of Base. So I'm touring the world and I didn't really have time. In that case, you have to come along. And we went to Dubai together with the documentary team. We went to Denmark because I had like 7 shows in Denmark. And we started out in Denmark, so that was really cool. We went to Spain together. I mean, they had to come along where
Yeah.
I was because I couldn't go to Stockholm and sit and do interviews all the time. So that was quite fun. We got to know each other in all kinds of ways, and that was an amazing team. So we had really much fun together. They're crazy. I guess we built a trust, and the more they trusted me, the more I trusted them. So I give it up to the photographers and to Jens from Rice. He made a fantastic job juggling everything around. I guess it almost killed him in the end because it's basically not an easy thing to take on.
Yeah.
It's pretty different persons, and not everybody wanted in. Jonas was the first question. He was the one who called me, said, "There's a documentary going on. Should I be in it?" I was like, "Yeah, I think you should. And maybe you can control the content because they're also going to tell stories that are not true, like they always do." And then he said, "I don't want to be in it because they want to like roll all the bad things out." And I was like, "Yeah, it's a documentary. That's what they do. No, I want to make a pure music
Yeah.
documentary." And I said, I don't think that's it. I think they already started with the Ulf because he gave all the things that we had filmed behind the scenes away. So somebody's really on to this, and I mean, we can't control that. If I wanted to stop it, I couldn't. I was just decided that, and Jonas said maybe you should be in it because you like these things, Annie. It's like, do I? I don't have time. But we did a good job, I think, and mostly I wanted Jonas to participate in one way or the other. I wanted my sister to participate anyway. So if I wouldn't have been in it, I don't think there would be anything from the three of us. It would only be Ulf.
And you mentioned obviously your sister, and I think that's a really profound moment at the end of the documentary where you read her words. And I like that element that she was present and she was speaking through you as well. So that was a nice touch.
Yeah, that's the only thing she can do basically, because she wants to be out of the public eye. And yeah, that was one thing that was hard to juggle because she would obviously be talked about again, but she's a good person that has her things, and I so much appreciate her. I love her so much. So that is what she does. I do my thing. We've been different since we came out. I mean, that's the way it is. We work differently, and she's an absolute fantastic person, but she wants to be out of the public eye. There's so many people that keeps out of the public eye because they just shut it down. But she couldn't, because it's been a success since it came out.
Yeah.
And it's the way it is.
Yeah, I think it's understandable when you watch the documentary that there's a reason why, you can understand why she would want to be out of the public eye because it does paint quite a difficult portrait of fame and, it's almost like you're on this train and you can't get off. It seems to be a bit of quite a tough process. And when you're revisiting these things, is it quite traumatic to revisit these memories?
Well, what I wanted with the documentary to tell is also that we had a lot of fun. Because we're siblings, we have our own language. Ulf became like a brother. We had our own way of speaking, of teasing each other, the way we were laughing behind the cameras, and we had a whole life that was going on. And this is the first time you can actually see that. We have like a strong connection, and we had so much fun behind the scenes. So it was an absolute pleasure to just, do normal things together, as it always was. But again, the business was hard. The business put us in difficult positions, and luckily, both me and Jonas and Lynn weren't that really. We didn't haunt the things. We didn't haunt the success. We didn't live for the success. We lived for music, and that was something else. It's like I do this today when I'm out doing my concerts here. I'm here in this, looking out at the Atlantic Sea. I'm in Atlantic City in the States doing my second big tour here. And it's still days-based music. That is what I do. And my own music as well. I'm coming out with a single called Lion's Den on the 29th of uh, November. Yeah, that's the month we're in. And I've been writing a book called probably we're going to be called The Sign. I think the editors here in States want to come and make it come across like that. I will see. But I'm doing so many things right now that I enjoy. And right now I'm harvesting whatever we saw back then. And maybe it wasn't fun all the time, and it could have changed us forever, but it also took us to the persons we are today and the relationships we are to have today, and they're quite enjoyable.
I am delighted that you mentioned your solo material because I think my story is such a strong album and I
Oh,
really loved Opening Alive. Your single, was it this year, early or late last year? And it's great to hear you, standing on your own and actually delivering kind of what feels like very authentic music. Um, is there an album potentially on the horizon, or is it an EP you're thinking? Is there a kind of project behind the singles?
what I would like to do is I would like to wrap it all up with some more songs in that case. Right now, I'm just doing singles coming out. Uh, I think it's a bit funny. I mean, maybe you want to have the EP or the album from Jenny 2025 or something like that. But I'm not I'm not hunting that either. I'm just, going along with what happens. There are so many progresses for me as a person right now with the book coming out, with the new music coming out, the documentary coming out, with the shows I'm still doing. I got 2025 almost full. 2026 almost. I mean, there's so much things going on right now, and I don't sell anything. I answer the phone, I answer the mails. That is what I do. And I don't have an agenda. I don't want to drive anything, but I do music. I sing. And that's what I've been doing Days of Bass too. That is the most important thing for me to come across with music and new music. And I also see back home my kids are starting to do music. And it's like, where
Is
did
it?
that come from? It's like, okay, my husband and I, we're musicians, but why are they doing music? It's like, no, they wanted them to like look for their own success. Maybe they would want to be something else, but my son has a band called Off Balance. He's in the military now, but he has done two songs and they're so sweet. I mean, that's so great to see that it keeps on growing and keeps on flowing. And that is music. You just give it and people receive it. And there's, yeah, joy in life. That's
Yeah.
perfect.
Amazing. Well, it sounds like you've got a really packed schedule, so I do appreciate you taking the time. Um, kind of going back to the documentary, there's a really interesting line where I think it's kind of stated that even when you were a pop star, yourself and Lynn never really felt like pop stars. And can you just explain that a little bit? Because it's quite an interesting concept to think that you've got this success musically and recognition, but you didn't feel it.
Well, I remember when you say that question, I come across one thing that I'm thinking of that me and Jonas discussed, my brother. Uh, we were, when you're in a shower, you get a towel when you go out,
Yeah.
maybe two. Maybe you have one on the floor.
My hair's quite short.
Three. You don't use 18 towels, do you?
Yeah.
You only use the things you have because the body is only concepted in that way. You have one for your hair, you dry your body, you stand maybe on one to not make the floor wet. That is a person. That is how a person works. It has their certain limits of what is actually doable, workable. And then there are these persons who haunt to make 18 towels when they go out of the shower, go out of the towel. People who haunt something else. I've never been that. I never understood that. And if you have enough money to put to some people who need it more, some food on your table, good food, and you can buy clothes and you can pay your rent and you can pay your mortgage or loans or whatever you have. As long as you have that,
Yeah.
what do you need more? I mean, I don't have room for more. I can't live in six houses. You can buy six houses if you're rich as a wizard, but I don't know if they're rich, but quite good. Um, I don't need that much. I need mine. I need my good relationships with my sister. I need it with my brother. I need it with my mother. My dad is not alive anymore. That is why I value things differently. And I never had the haunting eye for becoming big. But there is another thing, and that is telling this to people. Because people need to hear that. You don't have to go after the big things in life. You don't have to alter yourself as a person. You're good enough as you are. Just be that for all your friends around you. And as a source of life I have is like I pray. I pray and I receive mm, a lot of strength from that. And that is maybe what I should talk about. I pray. I pray to God and He answers. And that is something else. I'm not afraid of dying anymore. I've already tried that. I always said, but I never tried that. But with the attack I had, I mean, I've been going through so tough things in my life and divorces from close ones, getting them back. I mean, that it's a long story behind me. And I want to write a new book. Now I've done one, but I want to write a new one. Um, there's so many stories that are so much more important because people are hunting likes and looks, and I'm 53, 40 to 54, 52. I'm 52. I'm going on 53. I can't do that looks anymore. I mean, I'm not 16 trying to break a record. I mean, that was never, not even when I was in Ace of Base was I 16. I remember when Britney Spears came out. And I just I'm gonna pray for that girl. She's only 16. She must have people around her that saves her because this business is crazy. I had my sister and my brother, and I had God and my parents, and that was great. I needed that. So today I'm quite normal still. I I'm strange, I know, but I'm quite normal. And only use like two towels when I go out of my shower because I only have one body. I don't have to wrap everybody else. I'm just me in the shower. Sorry for the strange metaphor, but that's it.
I like it. I like it. I'm going to use that. The you mentioned your faith there, and that really does come through in the documentary that that was there for you, and I think it's lovely to hear that. I think it's a really nice message that a lot of people actually should kind of take note of because it's not about what you have or what you want. It's actually about what you've got around you and appreciating that. And I think yeah, that's it's a lovely message to come through.
Yeah, and also
Um,
you are as a person, you're big enough as you are.
yeah.
You're a great creation. You should just be you. Don't hunt anything else. Don't look at anyone else. They won't make you happy. You should be happy.
Yeah. Well, kind of on that note, I think the documentary implies that critics in Sweden were quite slow to appreciate Ace of Base. Was that frustrating for you, or were you quite detached from the sort of the critical voice or the voice of the sort of the music press?
Well, there are two answers to that. First, yes. I mean, that was my life. That was my home. So, my mom and dad went to work the other day when they had written something that was strange, and they had to answer the questions. Also, our it was a bit slower. It was no internet that was that big as it is now, so you didn't have those channels to demand something. No, this is not right, you know. So, that was it was troublesome when they wrote bad things. But again, the rest of the world loved us, and some in Sweden didn't like us, especially the press, because they were all into hard rock or like drug-filled hip hop, or and we were just happy pop, and I was like, no. And also coming from working class city like Gothenburg is, so that was one thing. And the second answer is today I'm doing the music I love.
Yeah,
And today I'm receiving the warmth from the audience. So for me, it is an absolute pleasure what we did back then. And whatever was bad at that time, I could see the summer when I was actually in the big cities of Sweden performing Jenny from Ace of Base show. That is me. I am Jenny from Ace of Base, so that is where I'm performing under. Um, and I sang the songs, and I at one time almost couldn't speak because they were singing so loud. They were like screaming out, and that was like a mark for me in my troublesome past with Sweden and Swedish media because nobody can take away that people actually listen to the music.
yeah,
People love the music.
yeah,
Um, and that was so strong. That was a very strong moment. And I almost burst into tears on stage because when they sang so loud, I was just stopping, what's going on. And it was like they said, okay, so we heard you've been told that you're nothing here, but you're something for me. And that was great. It
yeah.
was
Amazing.
amazing.
So in the documentary, you obviously encounter the legendary Clive Davis. He speaks quite a bit about his relationship working with Ace of Base, and especially when you were introduced to US audiences. Did you have a kind of personal relationship with Clive, or was he kind of more behind the scenes in Ace of Base's journey?
Well, he was, as it is in the States, he was one of those um, mega stars
Yeah,
in the business. And you don't sit next to mega stars, even if you are a mega star, because he was a business himself. I was all about music again, so I didn't get. I mean, I got some personal phone calls from him, but I didn't enjoy them because he was all business. I didn't get to know him. I was in New York the other month, and I was like, maybe I should could just call him and say hi. But again, like, I'm not sure. I would like to see him. I would like to say thank you to him. I would like to reach out in that way because he did a magnificent job with us. And he should have that regardless. But he's not someone I call because I'm in New York. I haven't tried it yet. I might try that. I'm going there tomorrow, so I might go stop by. So hello, I'm doing it. Come out for lunch? No, no. Maybe I try that.
yeah. Why not? Why not?
Yeah.
I know time is ticking, and I know you've got a lot of interviews planned, so I won't take up too much. But I would love to just finish off by finding out what are your definitive songs that you would always put in one of your set lists, whether it be Ace of Base or your solo material. What maybe two or three songs would always go in the set list that are essential for you?
Um, One a cappella song. I mean, it's just to hear my voice. That is one thing that I always do. It could be different songs. It could be like Lion's Den I'm releasing now. It could be like, you get a taste of that. It could be it could be Wheel of Fortune because it's a tune that people like. I know that one. And it could be Don't Turn Around, just
Nice.
as a here. So an a cappella thing, always. I always do Beautiful Life. I always do um All That She Wants and The Sign. Not always The Sign, not always All That She Wants, maybe just one of them, but I always try to get Beautiful Life in, like squeeze it in. Um, but that's like TV performances. They have to be really short, so then you have to choose. I usually say, okay, let's do the medley of the three. Because I want all of them. I want the energy in all three of them. But that's the big three ones that people also know. They know Cruel Summer, they know Don't Turn Around, they know a lot of the second and third album, Lucky Love. They know a lot songs when I start singing them, but they didn't know really that was us. But those are more the Signum ones. I always try to do Dying to Stay Alive from My Story album because it's an energetic song. And I like the idea that, okay, so this world is really falling apart. I mean, I wrote it like 2008 to 2009, and now it's more, you know, than ever, because I'm talking about the poison that is going on, the poisoning. But I don't care about the poison. I don't want to be afraid. I don't want to be scared. Don't want to sit in my corner and teaching my kids that you have no future. We have all the future in the world. We don't have to be afraid at all. And in that light of that, we're going to a good place. We're in a good place, and every now is a golden moment. Then we should just be dancing and be happy because the bad things, they're gonna come anyway. And Ace of Base was all about joy, as my sister says in the documentary. Ace of Base was all about joy.
Amazing. Well, that's a lovely note to finish on. I really appreciate your time. Good luck with the book. Good luck with the new music. I will be eagerly waiting. And good luck with the shows.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I'm gonna have fun.